Hey guys, welcome back to the Green Sofa. I am Seneca, and today I am joined by Marcus Sullivan, my homie, my buddy.
I'm here. How you doing?
I know, I'm great. Who has a new syndicated show, Marcus in the Morning.
Yeah, 91.7 NG. Y'all make sure y'all tune in.
I know. How'd you pull that off, Marcus?
Man, I was at 93.7 The Beat doing the Breakfast Club.
Of course, I remember interviewing with you there.
Yeah, producing the Breakfast Club. I was doing the Bless B show.
Of course.
And I kind of just grew the show from its ground roots, and then NGN saw that I was beating the brakes off of NGN, so they actually just and I was beating the brakes off of them.
Okay.
And they ended up giving me a deal and said, hey, it's one of those can't beat them, join them. Right?
Okay, absolutely.
And so, man, I'm thankful for creating my own content, and then turn it into a full-fledged job, which turned into a full-fledged syndication.
Right,
so,
having total anomaly over what you want to do.
Yeah, so there we go, every morning now.
Now, you've been in the business for a while. Mm-hmm. You've been in radio, TV, you've worked with Fox, you've worked for the Rockets, you've worked for Houston Texans, you've worked for, so, I know, I'm like, who am I sitting next to again? You work for all the huge enterprises around here.
Yeah.
Gosh, how did you get your start in the business?
Okay, so the interesting thing about me is 2001, 9/11. The day 9/11 was my first day, real talk, was my first day on radio, right?
Really?
Right before that, I remember working at CarMax, right?
Okay.
And I know they watching worldwide, but in Houston, CarMax is on the southwest side of town.
Okay.
I was working at CarMax, and my job was to wash the cars.
Okay.
Right? We called it prep the car. So you come in and buy a new car, right? And my job was to clean it, bring you your keys. Here you go, ma'am. Here's your car, right?
Yeah.
So as me cleaning the car, I was like, I need to jam out while I'm cleaning.
Okay.
And so I remember my supervisor saying, hey, Marcus, don't program the station because we don't want the lady to come in and say, a white guy on it, a black guy on it because of the radio station. But I'm listening for jams, and I remember hitting Seek on the dial.
Okay.
Right? Hit Seek, and it stopped on 97.5, and it was like, new interns, we're needing interns or something. So, I wrote it down, and I went home, got online, emailed the people, and the dude said, cool, come in tomorrow, which that ain't happening nowadays, right? And so I showed up with a full suit on, didn't know no better, right? Clean. And then right after that, I walked into the studio, and I'll never forget, I walked in, and I looked around, and I was like, man, this is the rest of my life.
Hell yeah. You're like, I can do this.
This is it. And started, my first day was on 9/11, and I've been in radio ever since.
Oh my goodness.
So, yeah.
So talking about radio, Lil Duval
Uh-oh.
has a new hit right now. So there's this whole new movement around Black Men Don't Cheat, right?
Black Men Don't Cheat.
So you remember last year in July he dropped, Smile, Living My Best Life, which was like everybody's theme song. I know that's been my theme song since it dropped.
I actually like the Pull Up record. Pull Up, I like that one.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, I haven't listened to that one much.
That came out right after the Smile joint.
Oh, did it?
Yeah.
Okay, so now he has the Black Men Don't Cheat with Charlamagne the God, who you know.
Yeah.
And oh my goodness, so he's turning this into a movement, right?
Right.
So Marcus, you're a successful black man, right? You work out, keep yourself up, all that good stuff.
Okay.
So is it true that black men don't cheat?
Absolutely. Right? Okay. I think the movement, it is it's needed, right?
Absolutely.
And the only reason I'm gonna say it's needed because black men, we got a stigma of you ain't no good, right? He automatically a dog. Right. He automatically ain't. You know what I'm saying? So I think just like what was the movement? Black Lives Matter.
Right.
That movement was needed.
It was.
Right. Black men don't cheat. That movement is needed. Now we all know that ain't really true. All black men don't cheat, but it's encouraging for dudes to be like, you know what? If Duval and Charlamagne can do it, I can do it too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
I love it. I was listening to one of my girlfriends, Lillian, who always posting like little Facebook lives and things like that. And she was like, you know what, ladies, we really need to get behind the men right now. Like, this is a great movement. Because you and I know, right? We're both very spiritual people and we're believers. And we know that if you keep on saying a thing, right, you'll start to believe it. It'll start to become true. So it's like now is a great time to really get behind the men because like you said, there's always been this stigma around black men being dogs and not good enough. And as long as we keep on perpetuating that narrative, it will continue to grow and live. But if we change the narrative to say that black men don't cheat, then who knows?
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Do black men cheat?
Listen,
you gotta have some experience.
Yeah, of course. Have I been cheating on? Absolutely.
Black men?
Yeah.
Been cheated on by a white man? Asian man? Mexican man?
Well, I mean, I
Martian?
Martian.
See what I did?
I know.
Okay.
Yeah, but the thing is, I also know good guys out there, right?
Okay.
So I know good men who do not cheat, who are very faithful, very committed, loyal, love their families, great providers, protectors, priests of their home, all that. So I've seen both sides of the spectrum.
Okay.
I know that there's guys out there who doing their thing just like there's women out there doing their thing, right? So we can't put all the onus on men like men are the villains because we know it's a lot of women. Listen, thoughts out here winning.
Yeah. Side pieces, all of it.
Side pieces and thoughts out here winning. And the thing is, we keep on, especially in the music, because you've been in the music for so long, we keep on hearing that in our music, on TV, in social media, right? It's everywhere, in the video games. I mean, I saw a video game where the girl was like, jumped in the car. I don't know what one of these games.
They come out so fast.
Oh
Roblox,
my God.
probably. But go ahead.
It literally was like, the guy was driving, the girl's giving him head in the car, and then he threw out on the next one. I was like, this
Y'all let us
type
know what game that. I'm just kidding. Go
this
ahead.
type of stuff is really, and I haven't owned, I think the last thing I had was a Nintendo or Sega Genesis. Okay, so that's me telling my age, but it's just crazy because you see it everywhere now.
Yeah.
So it's constantly being thrown in your face. And now I appreciate Lil Duval. I appreciate Charlamagne the God. I appreciate guys like you who you are pushing this narrative of, hey, it doesn't have to be that way.
You like the song?
I like it.
Okay.
It's cute.
Yeah.
I mean, it's catchy. You know what I mean? It's got.
Okay. Outside of the
catchy.
message, you still like the song. Like, you said it's catchy. It's jamming.
Music nowadays, especially like these rappers. If you got a dope hook, you got a nice beat.
Yeah.
Nobody's really paying attention to what you're saying, right? But with this song, I'm actually paying attention to what he's saying. You know.
Me too. Okay, so he served his point. I was shocked that. Okay, I'll say this about Duval. He had those 3 records: The Smile, The Pull Up, now this one. Right?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Is he a parody rapper? Right? Is he the new? I ain't gonna call him Weird Al, right? Remember Weird Al?
I used to love Weird Al.
Okay, so is he that, or like you just said, he got a good message in all of his songs?
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
And Smile was jamming.
It was.
So,
it's a feel good song.
I mean, I was shocked to see that song on iTunes. I mean, it's able to be downloaded. Like, it's a real life song.
Yeah.
And it came out as it's a joke. Black man on, well, not a joke, but black man on cheat. But now it's a song. And then, like you said, as a black woman, I like the song.
Absolutely.
So
I'm riding with it. I'm like, it's a great movement. I'm riding with it. Let's keep it going.
Yeah.
Is how I feel about it. So Marcus, tell me about the biggest L you've taken in your life, in your career. Because you've been on all spectrums.
Wow, I would say, the biggest L's been so many, right? I remember there was a streak that I had that I was like, I can go get any job that I want. Ain't nobody ever telling me no, right?
Okay.
And then I jumped into sports because I was playing sports and I wanted to I was working for the Texans.
Okay.
And I was like, you know what? I'm going to be the next big media PR person for an NFL team.
Yeah.
So I'm doing my networking and I'm on LinkedIn and I'm talking to all these vice presidents and program. And I remember being in my apartment. I was living in Katy, Texas at the time. And the Miami Dolphins called.
Okay.
Right?
Ooh.
Called for I think it was a media relations job, right?
Okay.
And this is one thing that I always tell people. The worst thing you can be in life is unprepared.
Oh, yeah.
The word unprepared, remember that. That's the worst thing you can be. So the Miami Dolphins called, and my dog he might have been a puppy at the time, and they called, and I was like, I gotta, they called like, let's do this interview. Like, they wasn't setting it up, they was calling for the interview.
Okay.
And so I'm on the phone, and the dog is barking, and the phone is beeping, and I wasn't prepared for, like, the questions, you know what I mean? And I'm like, when I think back, bruh, you didn't even apply for the job. They calling you.
Oh, yeah.
I was not prepared.
Right.
Lady got off the phone, she was like, hey, we'll call you back. And I've been waiting some years.
You still waiting on that phone call?
So I would say, like, that was the biggest L. And it wasn't, I feel like I was the person for the job.
Absolutely.
I was not prepared. And I think that was the biggest L as far as taking my media career, just not being prepared.
Right. Preparation prevents piss poor performance.
Yeah, you got it. You
I'm
remember
like,
that?
yes, I still remember that because that's so important.
Yeah.
Now, we were talking a little bit about the church.
Yes, let's go.
Yeah. Because there's this whole phenomenon now where people are they're disinterested in the church.
Right.
They don't want to be there.
Right.
They're tired of being preached at,
right.
like you say.
Right.
They're tired of not having a voice.
Okay.
They're tired of hearing the same old messages and not having those messages really be applicable to their everyday real lives, right? Because, I mean, you hear about Jonah and the whale and all that, and you're like, what the hell that got to do with it?
Be like, yeah, they're good stories, I believe them.
Yeah.
But I ain't seen nobody go in the whale mouth.
Yeah.
Right? So, I feel you.
I ain't seen it yet.
Right.
And so I get it because, man, just working as an evangelist, right, at my church, I'm a part of the evangelism team, and I'm a part of the outreach team, which I know, listen, hallelujah. I like getting out there because I'm very much a people's person, right? Okay. So I like actually being outside of the four walls of church.
Okay.
So my missions field is really out in the field,
talking to real life people.
Exactly, talking to real life people. That's why I love being in Africa doing medical missions out there. I love being out in the parks. Yeah, because that's where I really connect with people, because sometimes we get inside those four walls and it just becomes so fake and superficial and hypocritical.
Sad but true.
Yeah, it is. Because, you know, I know me personally, I get tired of the, you know, married women telling me that, you know, if you do this and you know, you become this and, you know, then God will send you a man. Like,
and see,
miss me with it.
Well, you know what's wrong with that part? And I'm not a woman, but if the church is a place like a hospital,
absolutely,
broken people,
sick people,
I'm gonna say if you, then God is gonna give.
Yeah.
9 times out of 10, you and yours got into an argument on the way to church.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Or last night or last week.
Yeah.
Right? So again, you're right. People don't want to be preached at. They don't want to be judged.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and I'm not sure what men go through. Do you guys go through the same thing on the same level? Are you guys receiving the same type of pressures? Because we already know 70-80% of the people who are showing up at church are female, right?
Facts.
Who are bringing their kids.
Facts.
It's usually single black women, and I'm talking specifically to the black church. I don't know what's going on in everybody else's church. But, you know, you only see 15-20% of the men showing up. In some other churches, you know, 35-40%, and those are great numbers.
Right.
But why is it that black men are choosing to stay away from the church?
Okay. So the first answer that comes to my head about that is the black man.
Yeah.
Right? He got a... Okay, so we all got this testosterone thing, right?
Of course.
Black men don't want to be led by another man, right? So me and you a couple, right? And I really like this church, right? And we go to the church, and you,
Pastor,
right? Right? And I'm sitting here like, man, who is right? So now I don't want to go because baby looking at like he the man, right?
Yeah.
Or we look at him and go, I need that spot. So dudes would be like, I ain't going to the church, man.
Yeah.
He ain't no different from me, right?
Right.
So,
man, just like
and I think that's the first answer. That's why a lot of dudes won't go to the church. And then, too, again, people don't want to be preached at.
Yeah.
Right? You ain't perfect. I know I ain't perfect, right?
Right.
So then, like, if I go and he on my street today, he talking, you know what I'm saying? And now I'm like, I ain't coming back.
I
ain't coming back.
Exactly.
So I think those are reasons.
Wow. So, but you're very much active in the church.
Yes.
I remember I'm
contradicting everything, right?
Right, no, but this is a good thing because it's like men like you, you know, who are active in the church. What keeps you there? What keeps you going?
No, I'm just kidding. I did not. I'm joking. I'm so joking, right? I like the fellowship. I love the word. I love God. And for the first time in my life, I never had a place to where I got people at church that I can just go straight up and be like, man, listen, this is what I'm dealing with.
Yeah.
And so that's the reason I go to church. And I suggest everybody, man, don't go to a church and look at a pastor and go, he perfect. God love him. Right? Them the ones that got problems too. Because the first time they have a problem, you like, see, I ain't coming back here. You know what I mean? I just say, man, find you somewhere where you can get some of the word that's practical to your life.
Yeah.
Right? Like we were just talking about the well and all that. That's cool. And I mean, I love the stories. Right?
Yeah.
I tell my kids the stories. But I need somebody to talk to me on this level. Not up here.
Right.
And don't talk to me like I ain't nobody. Right?
Yeah.
And so then I want to be around people that are like, while we cool, right? We can literally keep it real and say, man, I got this issue, you know what I mean? Like, I ain't, or tell real life stories, and I ain't gotta be like, she probably gonna judge me. You know what I mean?
Right.
And if you can get around a church and find people in the churches like that, you win.
Yeah. I truly believe that because I love having the hard conversations.
You do?
Yes, I love having those really touchy conversations because I feel like there's certain things that are just not being talked about.
Okay.
Because I grew up in those type of churches where every time you looked up, the pastor's daughter was pregnant.
Or son and little something.
Exactly. And they kept on preaching about the woman who was caught in adultery, but ain't nobody addressing.
In your real life,
ain't nobody talking about all these women who keep on showing up pregnant with no husbands, you know? And listen, I'm not condemning anybody because like you said, we've all done things that we're not proud of, but it's like what's good for the goose is good for the gander. Like we can't talk about one thing but not address what's going on in the church.
And so I'll compare that to pop culture or hip hop culture.
Okay.
Wendy Williams, right? She'll dive into all out. She'll get us, slice us up.
Yeah.
But then in her own life, we see in the tabloids what's really going on.
Absolutely.
So I mean, it's the same way, like you just said with pastors. You got all of these issues going on over here, but your sermon is weak. It's on my street. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
That's funny when I'm looking at Wendy Williams. First of all, I've never been a fan.
Okay. Me neither, not really.
Yeah, I've never been a fan.
Especially the TV side of her. I think it's...
Okay. Yeah, like I appreciate what she does. Okay. You know what I'm saying? She's definitely doing well in her craft. But I'm one of those people, like, if you're going to dish it, you should be able to take it. So, she's always so engrossed in everybody else's reality and what they're doing and all their mess. But then when it came to now, her husband... has had this side chick for 12 years. Man, I mean, moved in the same neighborhood.
Yeah, you got a whole. He really went there.
Like, you bold, dude. You know
and she's the moneymaker, but go ahead.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you basically sponsoring the side chick. Yeah. Because he's taking your money and using it. I mean, it's just crazy. But like I said, and then when she was having that whole nervous breakdown, I knew what that was all about. I was like, oh, it's something deeper going on.
Wait, is this the recent one when she was in the car?
No, when she was like. She was getting treatment for cocaine or whatever the case was. Right. And I'm just like, that husband driving her crazy.
Driving you crazy.
Right. Yeah. And so she was trying to self-medicate through all those drugs and everything, trying to numb the pain because she was trying not to deal with the reality of what her situation really was, which is that you got this man who out here living his best life. Living his best life. Right. Okay. This is before black men don't cheat, drop. Right. And, but yeah, I mean, my heart goes out to her because I would never wish that on any woman. Okay. To go through that. But the reality of it is like, you all dipping in everybody else's, and now everybody dipping in your Kool-Aid.
Okay, hold on. Is her show still on, right?
I have no idea because I don't watch it.
Because I know one time everybody was filling in for her.
Yeah,
but
that's true.
If she has the show still going, and anybody watch the show, shouldn't we hold her accountable? Like, we don't want to hear nobody else stuff until you sit right here and look in that camera.
I believe so. I'm like, listen, let's go and get you on the green sofa. Come on, let's go hug it out. Let's go talk about it. Because to me, the most liberating thing you can do is speak your truth. No matter how damaging it is. I've been very honest about this. Like last semester, I took a whole semester off from school to do therapy. Okay. Literally, stopped school for a whole semester. Yeah. I was in therapy every week. Okay. I mean, Marcus, it was ugly.
We need therapy. Go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, crying it out. It was just days I couldn't get out of bed. Jack Daniels, me and Jack Daniels was like, you know what I'm saying? Because I was trying to numb the pain. But the best thing I could have done for myself was take that time to really work on my mental health, which a lot of times we don't do. Right. And especially in the black community, it has been demonized and frowned upon and, oh, you crazy. Right. You can't, don't air your dirty laundry. Right. We can't let people know the inside of what's going on
Why
with us.
Why we like that?
Who?
In the black culture. Because, I mean, other cultures, therapy is what they do.
Exactly. I mean, I grew up with friends where they had therapists on retainer. You know what I mean?
They like crazy. No,
I'm serious. Like therapists on retainer, and like they had family therapists. So if you're going through something this month, oh well, listen, let me call up Susie, and Susie's gonna come in and But I don't know why we don't do that.
Wow.
Now, I feel like there's a shift happening,
Okay.
you know, with Charlemagne, how he had the book about the whole mental health.
You read it?
I feel like
have you had a chance to read that book?
I have not read it yet.
It's
Yeah,
good.
and I read everything, but I have not had a chance. I've heard so many great things about it, but I'm just glad that people are having a conversation, especially black men, because I feel like black women have kind of been on this niche for a little while.
Yeah.
We're kind of like, you know, me and my girlfriends meet for lunch, and we're like, yeah, so what did you talk about this week in therapy? And we're okay with it.
Yeah,
You know
okay.
what I'm saying? Like, we just air our dirty laundry, and because it's so therapeutic. But now I'm so glad that men are catching up and saying, you know what? It's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to let me know.
So you did therapy for how long?
4 months.
How did you know when? Okay, I don't have to go no more. Or do you turn around and just say?
It got to a point where I could talk without crying, without falling out, without. I mean, Marcus, I would literally, I would make myself physically sick just thinking about because it was so traumatic, right? All of the trauma that I was dealing with, and it's like a boil, right? You have to at some point lance it and let all that stuff come out, right? And so going to therapy was me lancing it, and so the hard part was all this good coming out now that I had to deal with.
Who gave you the idea to say, I need to go to therapy?
I literally had to pull off the side of the road, Marcus. I don't know what triggered it. I was on my way somewhere. I was basically having an emotional breakdown, and I pulled off the side of the road so that I wouldn't hurt anybody. And called my girlfriend, who was a mental health therapist, and Darcel. Oh, love her to death, Darcel Richards. And so she's now living up in Virginia, but called her and was like, listen, I need some help, and I need someone who deals specifically with this type of trauma. And she was like, let me give you this lady's number. Called her, and literally the next day, it was nonstop. And so I went to her for 4 months, and I mean, I got to the point where it was just like, I could breathe again. I felt like this cloud that had been hanging over my head for so long was now gone, and I could see the sunlight again.
I'm gonna ask you a question. I know I'm on the green couch, but this is gonna help me, and it's gonna help some people.
Absolutely.
Take me through a therapy session, because like people think therapy is I'm gonna sit on top of you and tell me why and this, that, and da 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 da. How does therapy work?
You know, I would sit there. I mean, I would come comfortable. I'd come in my sweatpants, and because she'd have a couch like this, I'd just lay out on the couch. I'd have my drink or whatever with me, and she'd be like, okay, well, Seneca, how was your week this week?
Yeah, and so she's not sitting here like,
no.
Okay.
Exactly. So she'd sit across from me, and it's like, okay, well, how was your week this week? Oh, well, this is how I felt. And, well, why did you feel like that? You know? And we would just keep diving deeper, dive a little deeper. And it was some days where I couldn't get through a session because I'm just crying. And
I was going to ask you.
Yeah, every day is different. Yeah. So every week I walked in, I didn't know what that session was going to be like, but I was committed to the process. Yeah. And I just kept going. And after a while, it's like, I didn't even realize when the transition happened, because it's just like you're just on this path of wellness, and then one day you wake up and you're like, man, I'm not crying.
Yeah, I'm good.
You know what I'm saying? I feel good today. I'm not, you know.
I wonder, let's play the percentage. How many people you think we know, right?
Yeah.
And how many people you think you know, right?
Yeah.
That need therapy.
Man, listen.
Because like me or most dudes will be like, I'm just going to go to the gym.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm just going to go for a run.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But that's how I was. That's how I was coping with it.
Okay.
I would be like, oh, I'm going to go work out. Working out makes me feel better. But it was only a temporary fix, right? Because I was only dealing with the symptoms and not the immediate problem. I go work out, you know, I drink, and then when I'm not buzzing anymore, then I'm right back to where I was. But yeah, it's just a process. It's a process.
I bet it's more than 50% of us could use some therapy.
Oh, probably even more. I do a lot of research with the Center for Justice Research on the campus of Texas Southern under the leadership of Dr. Howard Henderson. And so one of the things I do is looking at mental health.
You're so big time.
Yeah, I know. Didn't that sound good? I just love the way it rolled off my tongue.
Like, doctor, okay, well, go ahead.
Yes. And so one of the things that I do a lot of research around the prison industrial complex and school to prison pipeline and around mental health in the prison system. And 64% of people who are treated with psychotropic medication are treated in the prisons, not in mental health hospitals.
So, translation, you get better therapy.
Right. So most of the people who are dealing with mental health issues are actually in the prisons, not in mental health hospitals, which is a huge problem. And we're working on a lot of legislation and a lot of policy right now to change that. Yeah. So, but it's amazing. Have you ever done therapy before?
When I had these crazy stalkers, I had to go sit with a therapist, and
you had stalkers?
That's part 2 of this. I had some stalkers. I had some. You know what? I ain't gonna. I won't even go there.
We'll say that for part two.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or we'll save it for the behind the scenes.
Behind the scenes.
But
right.
yeah, I had to go sit down with a stalker because people think like you can be stalked.
Absolutely, I've been stalked.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. There you go. Right.
In college. Crazy
and so like you don't
Uh-huh.
have to be Beyonce, Jay-Z to have a stalker.
Right.
You could just have somebody, especially with social media.
Oh yeah.
Man, people will see your social media and say, "That's mine. He's mine."
Yeah.
You know, or I'm gonna get, and literally stalk you. And so I had to go see a therapist behind it because I was tripping out.
Really?
Yeah. So.
How did that make you feel? Like, did you feel like you were losing control? You were out of control of the situation, and that's why you saw?
I literally lost control.
Okay.
And I think for me that was one of the things that sent me over the edge. It was something that I can't stop this.
Wow.
You know what I mean? From a phone being hacked to, I was like, I don't have control.
Okay.
So I had to go sit down and literally and mine was kind of like yours. My therapist literally, like, she sat at a computer and just kind of did her thing and just talked to me.
Wow.
Right? And that kept me more like, she listening, but she ain't really
engaged like that.
And so I just kept talking. You know what I mean? And then she would say something and I just keep talking. And then after that, like 30-minute session, I was like, all right.
Yeah, you feeling good.
And I'm out. I ain't going to but 2 sessions though.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I did.
I probably need to go some more.
Yeah, it's a great thing.
Yeah.
It's a great thing. So when did you feel like, I guess after the 2 sessions, did you feel like you got what you needed to move forward? Did you feel like you had control of the situation now?
I felt better. And I think I did the typical black person thing. I just didn't go back.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So, but I'm sure if I would have went on 3-4 months, it would have been great.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Is that something that you talk about in your show?
No, I could. That would be all. You know what? PTSD and mental illness or what do you call it?
Yeah, mental health, mental illness. Mm-hmm.
Those are always good hot topics actually to talk about.
I know. Do you think we talk about that enough in the church?
No, I wonder why.
Well,
we talking about that well. That's why.
Well, exactly. Well, this is the thing. We don't talk about it because I feel like people Christians, right, put way too much work on Christ. They're like, pray about it. Jesus is going to handle it. Yeah, just pray about it. Just pray about it. Mm-hmm. And so we feel like to say that I need to see a counselor, I need therapy, is admitting defeat. Mm. And we're saying in essence that Jesus can't handle it. See, if you have to go to somebody else, then you're admitting that Jesus can't handle it.
Right, exactly. And that's what we say in the church. Jesus can fix it up, which we know.
Yeah.
Right, but you need to go sit down and talk to somebody.
Yeah. I mean, I believe that he puts everything here on earth that we need, right? And so he might be saying you need to go talk to somebody else, right? Right. Yeah, you can pray about it. That's a great thing. But I don't feel like that might be the total fix, right? Because this thing is so layered. There's so many different layers.
Right.
So yeah, you can pray about it. You can meditate. You can seek counseling. You know what I mean? Like talk to friends, whatever the case, whatever you need to do to make sure that you get the healing that you need. But we need to be more transparent and vulnerable and honest about that because you can never heal what you don't admit.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
So what's next for you, Marcus?
Man, so my show is now syndicated in 3 markets.
Ooh.
St. Louis, Orlando, and Houston.
Wow.
I really want to be the biggest Christian hip hop show. I want to take what I did with the Breakfast Club as a producer, and take it on the national stage as far as Christian hip hop, and have topics like this though. You know what I mean? Because it don't have to be churchy.
It don't have to be churchy.
No. So,
because I feel like that's where people are missing the mark, especially, with the church. It's just become too churchy. Yeah. It become too idealistic, too pomp and circumstance. Right. It's more about tradition and versus, like you said, relationship.
If you're a person who is from the church, that's cool. You can go to that church and understand it and get with it and get with that word and talk about that well. I'm going to keep talking about that well, right? But like if you knew, you need to go somewhere where you can have that relationship.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Over, just like you said, all the circumstances and the theatrics of church. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so.
And that's one of the reasons why I chose my church is because I saw my pastor be so transparent and talk about things that I had never heard talked about in church. Wow. Yeah. And so I was like, man, if he's secure enough in himself as a man to have these conversations in front of the church, then that tells me his character outside the church. Right? If you don't mind people judging you and having an opinion in here, it's easy to go out to that world.
Question.
Yeah.
How do you look at your pastor? Meaning, like, is he the man of God. I gotta say it like
The
that.
man of God.
Yeah, right. Or is he regular Joe Small?
I would say I look at him as the man of God, right?
Okay.
I definitely have a reverence and a respect for him because of his position.
Okay.
But I talk to my pastor all the time.
Okay.
And we can just have regular conversation. It doesn't have to be thus thou.
Yeah.
And, you know what I mean?
Right. And
we don't have to talk to each other in King James. You know what I'm saying?
You don't think he's perfect though?
Absolutely not.
Right. And I think if any pastor can show that they're not perfect,
right,
we're good.
Yeah.
Right.
If they can show that, then you're good. No, he's definitely not perfect. He is, but when I say a man of integrity, you know what I mean? And integrity means being one with self, right? When the Bible talks about a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways, you know, that man think he won't receive nothing. You know what I'm saying? It's because integrity means I say what I do what I say. It's one thing. And so the reason why you have a lot of people who are very disgruntled with the church is because you have the pastor preaching one thing, right? And then you see him pulling up in this, you know,
Phantom.
The Phantom, you know what I'm saying? And listen, this is another problem I have with the church. And I believe in the prosperity gospel in the sense that I believe that a God is a God of abundance. I don't believe in this whole God just wants you to make money and this and that.
Right.
I believe that God gives us those resources so that we can be a blessing to other
Those
people.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
I believe in that. You know, I believe that I am going to be a billionaire. You heard it here first.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because I know that God has so much that he wants me to do, and so much he wants me to do for others. And the only way that I can do that is for me to be in a financial position to do that. Because the stuff I want to do, it requires money.
Right.
You know?
For sure.
But yeah, I believe that. But you see a lot of these pastors where, you know, they taking private jets and things like that, but you got a congregation who on welfare.
And they say, pray about it.
Yeah, pray about it. Listen, I've had a situation like that.
I got a question for you after this.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, but this my last little testimony.
Okay.
But yeah, I went to a church where I was dealing with some health issues, right? I needed to have a procedure done. The procedure was like maybe, $8,000 without insurance, and I had just lost my job at the time, so I didn't have insurance. But my doctor was like, "Hey, Seneca, listen, I'll do it for 50% off. I'll do it for $4,000 if you can come up with the money, right?" So now this is the church I've been faithful in. I've been on missions. I'm paying my tithes every week. I'm, you know,
put them on blast.
I'm serving. You know what I'm saying? And so I went to my pastor, told him what my doctor told me. Hey, listen, I gotta have this procedure done. I done brought all the paperwork. Here's what my doctor. I got everything.
You're active at this church.
I'm active.
Okay.
They thought I worked there. They saw me so much.
Wow.
Oh, I'm there Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday night for Bible study, Friday night for this meeting, Sunday morning. I mean, I'm active.
Okay.
Right? And so I go to my pastor to talk about, hey, listen, this is what my doctor told me. I got to have the procedure done. I really need some help. I just lost my job. I don't have the money. Like, can you guys help me out?
And what pastor looked you in your face and said?
He said, pray about it.
Oh, no, real? No.
Marcus! Yeah. Let me tell you, when I say I was so disgusted, I was so heartbroken. Yeah. Because if they had just given me back the money I had paid in tithes
you'd have some money.
And offerings,
right.
I could have paid for that procedure 4-5 times over.
Okay.
Yeah, they told me to pray about it.
What do you feel about the church is that collection plate?
Yeah.
Collection plate?
Yeah.
Collection plate. Right?
Yes. Listen, I believe that it takes money to run a church, right? Okay. We know that.
Okay, I got my thoughts. Okay.
You know, I've been to churches, where the collection plate comes around 3, 4, 5 times. I'm like, y'all been collecting this building fund for 15 years, and I ain't seen a building go up yet.
Right.
Yeah. So, but like I said, one of the things that I like about my church is that they show you the books. And the numbers. They like, hey, listen, this is every year.
Right. Here's your light bill.
That's right. This is what we paid in this. This is what we paid in that. They have an accountant who's not affiliated with the church. Cool. Has no vested interest in the church. Okay. So he gonna make sure those numbers are right.
Okay.
Right?
What do you feel about the pastor that say,
with the S, okay?
That says, I need my $100 givers come up. And after they get done, all right, my $50 people come on up.
You know,
That's your church? Oh, did I? Okay.
Nah,
Okay.
nah. If God has led you to do that, amen.
Right.
But I know that there's a lot of churches who don't.
Okay, so my theory on that, and we're talking just giving, right?
Yeah.
Collection plate 2-3 times.
Yeah.
Nah, right?
Yeah.
If you got to pass it 2-3 times, you need a smaller church.
Yeah.
Right? Or your bills are too much, right?
Yeah.
I feel like
Too
when
much
we saying,
overhead.
okay, tithe, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Offering is what you get, bruh.
Yeah.
Right? This is what the church has offered.
Yeah.
If they love you more, they would put more.
Yeah.
Right? You can't say, or I've seen some of the churches that count the money and then
Wow.
and then they walk up to the pastor with the little no go. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And then the ones who ask for certain amounts.
Yeah.
Right. My problem with those pastors is now it's theatrics.
Oh yeah, it's a show.
I know, and then for the congregation, it's like I want to be the $100 giver, so let me get up in front of everybody and get my $100. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So it's less about the relationship, like you said, and it becomes more about religion.
Right. And so I just say, yo, it's time to give. I don't even like the ones that say get up and walk down to the front, because now you're singling out the people who can't get.
Exactly. So now they feel some kind of way because they can't. Yeah. So
right. Or pressured.
Yeah. They feel some kind of way, and I feel like the Spirit of Christ would never do that. Right.
Right.
That's just not the love of God.
And that's just the giving. I know we jumped on giving, but I just say pass your joint.
Yeah.
What you get is what we get. If we get $300, we need a church that don't cost us but $200.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So that's what I think.
So where can people find you next, Marcus?
Give
them all your Instagram handles and all that.
Okay, now my gram, Marcus Sullivan Live, at Marcus Sullivan Live. You can always pull up the brand new hashtag, hashtag Marcus in the morning.
Yeah.
Bless Beats.
Yeah.
And that's with a Z, blessbeats.com.
Okay.
And then just around, man. I'm stalking her page. I'm gonna be on the comment joint. So you can't find me, go to her page. I'm in the comments somewhere. So that's it.
Well, good. It's been such a pleasure talking to you, Marcus. You know, because I love having this conversation about church folk. That's always a spicy conversation for me.
We can go about you,
right?
Yeah. We
can talk about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, we love you. We support you, and we gonna be looking out for more stuff that you have coming up.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah.
Love the green couch. I did it.
I know. Marcus on the green sofa. Listen, we'll see you guys next time. Peace.